All right, guys, what's going on? We are back. Week number 2. Who's number 1? We had some great racing this past weekend. It's finally the races that matter. You got those early races, and it's one here, one there. Some Euros show up, and now it is down to it. This is it. We had some great racing in New England. We had Nor'easter Cross up in Vermont. We had Rochester, New York UCI races, and of course, the big show. It comes 4 times every year, the USGP in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. We were there. We were going live. It was awesome. Let's get right to it. Your women's rankings this week. The specialized rider, the mountain biker, Leah Davison. We didn't think we'd see her doing much cross. She was at Cross Vegas. Now she's back in Vermont. Second place there. Great ride. If she keeps racing cross this season, she could do great things. Moving on, Amy Dombrowski, 6th. Looking great on Saturday in Vermont. Mechanical at the end. Fell back. Goes over to Europe. Now we'll look for her to do big things over there. We'll keep an eye out. We'll keep her in the rankings. Even though she's not quite in North America, she's a U.S. rider. We'll keep our sights on her. Number 4 and number 5. Moving on to our list this week. Nicole Duke and Meredith Miller. Both kind of flip-flopped at the USGP. One, Meredith Miller, the roadie. Tough day on Sunday in the mud, great day on Saturday. Nicole Duke, the former downhill mountain biker, the opposite. Great ride on Sunday in the mud, tough ride Saturday when things were dry. Look for both of those riders to do big things later this season, especially Nicole Duke with that new ride this year, Cannondale Cyclocross World Team. She is looking for some big results, and I think she's got them in store. Georgia Gould, number 3 on our list, finally started to show some more consistency. Second both days in Sun Prairie at the USGP, recovers from that tough ride at Cross Vegas. Look for her to try and step it up. She's kind of the Jamie Driscoll of the women's race, waiting for her to really bust out and win some races. It's been a while with Katarina and Compton taking the spotlight away from her, but look for Georgia this year to try and move up the ladder a little bit and get into contention, be able to come down to the final lap and try and sprint for those wins as opposed to only making it halfway through. Now, your top 2 women, same as last week. We're going with Katie Compton, number 1, Katarina Nash, number 2. I know Compton hasn't raced cross yet, and Katarina Nash undefeated, I think something like 5-0 so far in the cross season, but again, it's that respect issue. Katie Compton, a contender at the Worlds, the best rider year in and year out until she races and until she gets beat by someone else, specifically Katarina Nash. We're going to keep her number 1. All right, guys, before we get to your men, got to talk about it again. This week, Greenware is bringing you guys a special segment, the Zero Waste Ride of the Week. You guys know these cups, 100% compostable, zero waste here, and we're talking about the riders this week that just left it all out on the course, just finished, tank on empty, totally spent, and those riders were. In the women's race, really blowing up this week, having a great ride on Sunday, especially 4th place in the mud. It's going to Mo Bruno Roy. Amazing ride for the Bob's Red Mill rider. In the men's field, who else could it possibly be? Troy Wells, just drool, spit falling down his chin, crosses the line. Great ride for Troy. Moves up to 12th this week in the men's rankings. Look for him to do big things. This segment brought to you guys by Greenware. All right, guys, in your men's rankings this week, we're going to run through the top 10 real quick. Ian Fields, the Brit. He's still here in the U.S. He is still crushing things. First place Saturday at the Nor'easter Cross. Second in Rochester. Great ride for him so far. Todd Wells, 9th place. A lot of you guys, if you didn't see the results, if you didn't read in depth, if you didn't watch the interviews, you're not sure what happens. Todd, he goes down with a mechanical on Saturday, fights all the way back to finish 15th. Sunday, flew home to go to Willow Kerber's wedding, so didn't get to see much from him, but you got to think that when he comes back from his break and he's ready to go again, he's going to be flying. Number 8, Kabush. Number 7, Ben Burden, the Belgian. Turns out this guy's going to be in the U.S. all season long, based in the Northwest, riding for some local companies up there. So Ben Burden having a great couple top 10s at the USGP moving forward. Number 6 this week, Christian Hoela, the Cannondale Cyclocross World Rider, the multi-time Swiss national champ, or as I like to call him now, I think Bart Wellens coined this phrase on Twitter, Elbows Hoela. Took down Zach McDonald on Saturday, or at least that's the rumor going out there. There's no pictures, there's no video. We didn't see it, but some controversy there between the Rafa Focus team and the Cannondale Cyclocross World team moving forward. Tim Johnson and Jamie Driscoll. Tough start to the year for the Cannondale Cyclocross World program. Last year they came out with Tim and Jeremy going back and forth every week, taking big wins. This year, as far as I know, no wins for that program. Christian, Tim, Jamie, they've all been up there. They've all had their troubles, and no one quite getting it done. Jamie Driscoll, the top-ranked rider in that system right now, in 4th place. The Mr. Consistency, but also Mr. Dangly, as we like to call him last year, was just always sort of just off the back of that lead group. So he's still a young rider. He's still got years to go, but one of those guys is going to have to step up and start winning some races. Top 3, Jonathan Page went down. We talked about that. Christian Huela, Zach McDonald scuffle on Saturday. Well, Jonathan Page got the bad end of that one. He went down as well. He was in position maybe to get 6th or 7th. Still not a great ride, but ended up finishing 11th that day. Sunday comes back, amazing ride, second place on the day, out sprinting Ryan Trebone, your winner from Saturday. Now your top two, we got a flip-flop this time. Jeremy Powers down to number 2. Great ride for Powers on Saturday. Just fell short by about a lap or two. Should have won that race, could have won that race. We talked to him. He said he had the fitness to win that race, just didn't quite get it done. It was all Ryan Trebone. He was just tearing up that course, something like 480 watts average for 1 hour, 1,250 maximum watts when he got back on his bike on that run up. So Ryan Trebone, he's back. It's been a few years. Last year it was all Tim and Jeremy. Ryan Trebone is sick and tired about hearing about anybody else but himself. He wants to reclaim that top title, wants to go back to the form of 2009 that saw him take the USGP overall, go back to the form of years past when he would just dominate and win every single race. So look for Ryan this year to step things up like we talked about. He's got that new team, the new sponsors. He's trying to run it out, trying to do big things. All right, guys, coming up this weekend, we got more big racing going down in Gloucester, Massachusetts. Gloucester, we're going back. It's all about New England this weekend. Keep your eye out for Jesse Anthony. Great road season. He's not doing cross this year, just one weekend of racing in his hometown. He's from Beverly, Mass, right down the street. Look for Jesse to do big things, but we still got that whole contingency of European riders there. Tim's going to be there. Jeremy's going to be there. It's going to be happening this week in Gloucester. We got a big cross crusade in the Northwest. Tom Parsons for Cycling Dirt is down in North Carolina, covering a little mountain bike racing action that's still going on at the Pisgah Mountain Bike Stage Race. We'll have coverage from that all week. Jeremiah Bishop versus Adam Craig. It's going to be ridiculous this week on Cycling Dirt. All right, guys, that is it for week number 2 on Who's Number 1. Take a look down below here. We got all the rankings. I think we're something like 30 deep in the men this week. Got a bunch more women in there that we didn't have, but let us know what you think. We're not perfect here. There's going to be races that we miss. Let us know who we missed. Let us know how you would reshuffle them, and we do that every week. We'll talk back in the comment section, and we will figure things out. So go ahead, like us on Facebook, put it on Twitter, let your friends know that this is where it's at. This is where your home for cyclocross is going to be this fall. We've enjoyed having you guys. We will see you next week.